certainly been impacted, but I think we've been able to manage through it fairly well as best we could during a lot of uncertainties that kind of arose and happened very, very quickly. And I don't think any of us thought that we'd still be talking about or still living through some of the circumstances that COVID brings with the shutdowns and the masks and the social distancing and so forth. So I think for myself and I've never experienced anything like this, and I think for the most part many others have not as well. So it's a very fluid situation, and fortunately we've been able to keep a lot of communication with the teams as they've worked from home. We've had a few back in the office, but the majority of our employees are still working from home. So we've been able to utilize our technology and also the culture that we've built over the years to keep the teams together, the morale high, and the ability to really take care of our customers at what we believe to be at a very high level. Our platform was built in the cloud, and so whether you work from the home or you work from an office or you work from multiple locations, you're logging into our platform that's web-based and that's hosted in a cloud infrastructure. And so a lot of the offerings that we offered were more our standard offering, but the clients had to adjust to working from home with their agents. So they had some infrastructure changes that they needed to make. So fortunately, we were able to accommodate those very easily. A lot of the work was on the hands of our clients. We were able to implement a lot of IVR type solutions, agentless type interactions as they were working from home. A lot of our clients put all of their infrastructure on us, and so a lot of our clients who just use us for outbound solutions, they changed that and went to a full blended environment, and so they were using a lot of our inbound type solutions, some of our payment IVR options, just some auto attendant type, as their offices may have been closed, and so they wanted to be able to, people still get calls or at least leave a voicemail. We're able to handle a lot of that. So our clients used our standard service offering as the agents went to work from home, and so there wasn't a huge adjustment from our side, from a technology standpoint. It was just deploying it to a different environment for our clients. Our clients and how they adjusted through COVID, they had to just kind of work through the shock of it. Wow. They have 200 agents now they're having to deploy from home, and how do they do that, and how do they handle their accounting, how do they handle their HR, how do they handle any security and compliance types of questions that had to come about. The compliance requirements today are much different than they were maybe 24 months ago. And so they had to work through those, kind of the shock and awe of it. Many of them shut their offices down for a week or two as they kind of worked through it, as they got agents home. But within 30 days or 40 days, everything was running pretty smooth. The biggest issue, a lot of them, was their phone systems and how they were set up. Some of them were still functioning on some pretty old phone systems or some pretty old infrastructure. So they had to move a lot of that, or they had to put all that on us, and so that took a little bit of time. But for the most part, they did pretty well as we worked through it. Typically, when you see crises, the anxiety level goes through the roof, and you have a lot of frustration. And we didn't see that with our clients. We worked very, very closely with them, hand in hand, for many days, many nights, early mornings, weekends, and so we saw a lot of trust that was built between ourselves and our client partners. And so I think as we learn through it all, we learned that as we communicate, as we work together, we can usually climb those mountains much quicker, much easier. And we saw that during this experiment here with COVID. What we garnered out of all this, though, is that we have a lot of very good clients that put a lot of trust in us over the last 8 or 9 months. I believe we've earned a lot of trust of our employees over the last 8 or 9 months, as they would call and just ask me questions about, hey, how are we doing? My brother just lost his job. So there's just a lot of stress and so it was real during this time where people were impacted, maybe not directly from TCN, but they saw it in their families. They saw family members that had been impacted by COVID, and some have seen their families pass away because of COVID. And so there's just a lot that was going on that on the surface level you may not have seen. But I learned, as managing through that and working with a team of people throughout the world, that as we showed a little bit of empathy, as we took a little bit more understanding, that came back to us many, many times over in their ability to work harder, be able to alleviate some of that stress. Our clients who call and ask us questions. And so there's just a lot of trust that was built over the last 8 or 9 months. And I think we can move that forward, not only from a business standpoint, but also relationships and helping our product become better as our clients ask us questions and we ask them questions. And so I think if we can continue to build upon that, the industry will grow leaps and bounds in the future.